Hey guys, before today's episode of the podcast, I want you to do me a favor by hitting that follow button in front of you to follow my podcast. I upload weekly. Currently aiming to maybe put out 2 episodes a week, but until then, it's a new episode every Sunday, 1 p.m. here in Vancouver, which is 8 p.m. GMT, if you know what that means. Make sure you're following Gentleman Pursuits on every social media as well. If you don't, you're missing out. Once again, it's Gentleman Pursuits. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the third episode of Gentleman Pursuits. Hope everyone had a great week. This week's episode, I want to talk about this legendary brand, Richard Mille. It's a really phenomenal brand, which I'll get into it in a bit. I love it. My friends love it. I feel like everyone loves it, actually. And my friend is a really big fan of this brand, so I was thinking, why not spend this episode and talk about it? So, Richard Mille which was founded only 20 years ago, which is nothing when you compare to other legends like Rolex or Patek Philippe. But that doesn't mean that Richard Mille is lacking, right? Matter of fact, they have done such a great job at establishing a strong presence within 2 decades. But how? How do you climb the ladder so fast within 20 years? Because for most of the big brands that we know, they have been through generations and generations to be where they're at today. And to be honest, some of the brands that have been on this earth for multiple decades, and yet they're considered sub-tiers, subpars, right? So how did Richard Mille do it? So, before starting his own brand, Richard Mille has already earned himself a pretty good reputation in the horology scene. He worked at a French boutique, which then he was promoted to be the manager of the boutique, but he was not satisfied at all. He has a dream. He always had a vision to have his own brand, so he fought for more. And I mean, come on, you should always fight for more. If you know you got it in you, you should never settle for less. Anyways, so Richard Mille then proceeded to start his own brand in 1999, which he has a great advantage, given that he has been working with jewelry and watches all his life. So the RM001, I think that's the first watch from Richard Mille, was advertised as a racing machine on wrist and is asking for $135,000 for it. Just pure insanity. Not only is it asking for a huge amount of money, they limited that to 17 pieces only. 17 pieces worldwide. Richard Mille debuted by setting a new standard in exclusivity, and yet people loved it. People loved the brand. People love to own exclusive items, right? They want something so special, only 17 people on earth have it. And because of Richard Mille's impressive craftsmanship, alongside with the exclusiveness, it created a whole new approach to watchmaking. Speaking of exclusiveness, there's another RM watch that I want to point out. It's the RM1103 McLaren automatic flyback chronograph. Richard Mille and McLaren Automotive partnered in 2017, and this is the first watch they produced as a team. The watch is the joint vision of McLaren design director and Richard Mille engineer Fabrice Namura. Limited to just 500 pieces globally and was priced at $191,500. The watch will be made available initially to McLaren Ultimate Series clients. But why do I want to bring this up? Because beyond the fact that it's the first in the partnership, the watch itself, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. I mean, the design of this watch is literally inspired by McLaren's cars. For example, the titanium pushers have been made to look like the headlights of the McLaren 720S. The titanium inserts are similar in shape to the McLaren F1's air intake snorkel. And The complex Grade 5 titanium crown is shaped like a McLaren wheel. It's pretty sick, right? I mean, Richard Mille also created a new base plate and bridges for the RM1103. To be honest, the RM1103 alongside with the RM5301 are probably my favorites from Richard Mille. But throughout the years, Mille's collections, all of which have been made with philosophy that places great value not only on the exterior of the product, but also the interior. It is indeed a sports car on your wrist. However, just like any other brands, for each brand, there's gotta be fans and haters. And one of the most common comment made by people that dislike Richard Mille is that the brand has no heritage or actual watchmaking value. While Richard Mille as a brand is relatively young, A. Lange & Söhne in its current form is really not much older than Richard Mille, but we don't see negative comments about A. Lange that often. So what I want to say is that we should learn to appreciate all kinds of watches, no matter its history, and try to appreciate different brands and watches as they are, because in the end, this is what makes every brand distinctive and special. What you dislike may just be someone else's cup of tea. What you like, other people may dislike it. So just stop hating. Every brand has its own unique selling point, right? Just stop hating. In general, that's what I'm trying to say. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of the podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button in front of you. I'm not sure if you're listening this on Spotify or Anchor, but either way, make sure you're following me on every social media platform, on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Anchor, Spotify, everything. Just make sure you're following me. You'll get the latest news on articles, uploads, podcasts, new news, all kind of posts on watches and whiskeys. If you're not, you're missing out. So yeah, make sure you're following us. And until next Sunday, have a great week, guys. Stay safe. I'll see you guys.